Welcome, everybody. My name is Lindsay, and we have a restorative yoga class today that will help calm the nervous system, stretch out the body, and really allow us to deeply relax. So, we will be setting up today near a wall. If you don't have a wall handy, you could also use a chair or a couch, the edge of your bed, just something. And then I like to use a strap for one of the poses that we'll be using today. Just have a loop there about the width of your thighs. Um, we'll use that later. If you don't have a strap, a belt, or like the tie of a bathrobe, all work. Towels even you can use to wrap around. But anyways, we will get some movement through the spine in a standing posture first before we get into our relaxation. So we'll make our way into a standing position. And we'll start with just a little bit of movement in the legs from side to side. We're going to windmill the arms around, just waking ourselves up a little bit, getting some movement going in through the body. Noticing the breath that we have moving in and out. Great. And we'll start to wind down our windmill. And we'll find a even planted sensation in the feet. And we'll take a few rolls of the shoulders forward, up, back, and down, imagining that every time we're just allowing the spine to lengthen a little bit more. So as you roll the shoulders up, lengthen the spine, and as you pull them down, keep that length. One more time, inhale, lift, and lengthen. Perfect. Okay, so with the feet planted, the fingers extend down towards the floor, the spine nice and long, finding our Tadasana mountain pose. Beautiful work. We'll inhale to reach the arms up overhead, lifting the gaze up, stretching into the neck. And with the exhale, we're going to take a very slow swan dive forward, hinging from the hips, lengthening the spine here, moving nice and slow like you're moving through putting. We're just going to lower, all the way down into our forward fold, just stretching out the backs of the legs here, a little ragdoll. And then as we inhale, adding a gentle bend to the knees, ragdolling ourselves all the way up to standing, stacking vertebrae on top of vertebrae. Head comes up last. We'll roll the shoulders forward, up, back, and down. Beautiful work. Okay, so with the feet planted down here on the ground, we're going to inhale, reach both arms up overhead. Reach those fingers up, draw the belly in, reach just a little bit higher. And then we're going to lower the left hand down towards the left hip. Reaching up with those right fingers just a little bit more, plant down into both fingers. We're going to sweep that right hand over towards the left side of the mat. So kind of getting a side body stretch here. Drawing in through the belly, push the left hand in towards the thigh to help rotate maybe the sternum a little bit more towards the wall, towards the ceiling. Great work. Draw the lower belly in, and we'll exhale, rise ourselves all the way back up. Great work. Lower that right hand down towards the floor. We'll inhale, lift to the left arm up towards the sky. Reach those left fingers up nice and high. And as we exhale, slowly paint that rainbow with the fingers on the sky. Push the hips over towards the left. Feel the feet equally planted. Push down into that right hand against the thigh to help rotate the sternum. Draw the belly in. Feel nice and long here through the side body. Draw the belly in. We'll exhale, rise ourselves up, lowering the left hand back down. Great work. Roll the shoulders forward, up, back, and down. We'll inhale to reach both arms up this time. Keep both arms extended. Draw the shoulders down towards the ears. Draw the belly in. Real brief here. We're going to bring both hands over towards the left side of the mat, pushing the hips over towards the right, getting that side body stretch. Draw the belly in, lengthening through the spine. Draw the belly in. We'll exhale, rise both hands back up. Great job. Coming back through center. Take an inhale here. Great work. Exhale, bring the hands over towards the right side of the mat, pushing the hips over towards the left. Feel the feet equally weighted and balanced. Great job. Draw the belly in. And we'll exhale, rise ourselves all the way back up. Beautiful work. Release the hands. Bind them back behind the hips. Draw the knuckles down, getting a little bit of a back bend here. We're going to push the hips forward. Push the chest forward, lift the gaze up. Start to draw the knuckles down maybe a little bit more. Push the hips forward just a little bit more. Beautiful work. We'll exhale, rise ourselves back up through neutral. Excellent. One more time. Forward fold, keeping the bind of the hands. Lower the torso down, down, down. Nice and slow. Great job. Sinking yourselves down, maybe just a little bit lower. Breathing. Fantastic work. Bringing the hands back to the knuckle, or the knuckles back to the hips, push into the feet, slowly rise ourselves, stacking vertebrae on top of vertebrae. Coming up nice and slow, roll the shoulders forward, up, back, and down. Beautiful work. We moved our spine forward, backwards, and from the sides. So we will start to get ourselves into our restorative practice, just feeling a little bit looser now around the spine. So very low to no props today. If you don't have them, no worries. Depending on the surface that you are working on, you might find that a blanket or an extra bit of padding underneath the hips or along the spine may be helpful today. We are going to spend some time with our legs up the wall. And we'll be getting into those positions. I'll show you how. So I'll take this blanket. Luckily, I've got this nice squishy carpet underneath my yoga mat, so I don't really maybe need an extra bit of padding, but if you're working on a hardwood floor, or maybe your mat feels a little thin, an extra bit of squish underneath the hips can feel really nice here, as we'll be kind of hanging out upside down for a little while. So I put the blanket up against the wall. I'm going to bring the strap here close by. And my favorite way to get into legs up the wall position is to scooch myself so that my hips actually touch the wall at first. So I'm very, very close. And from here, I'm going to slowly, well, you know what? Since I got the strap and I'm sitting up, I might as well apply the strap here. So I'm going to take the strap and I'm going to put it on my legs. I'm going to cinch it down just so it stays in place here. I could plant my feet. There's space for a knuckle or two between them. So I've got my legs bound, adjusting the tie here so it's in the middle and I can access it. No pressure. Again, if you don't have a strap, we can do this without. So once I get that on, or choosing not to, totally up to you, I will start to lower myself down onto my elbows and lifting the legs up the wall. And I'll start to scooch my hips maybe a little bit closer towards the wall. Taking some time here, getting ourselves situated. You might find that an extra little pillow underneath the neck is nice and supportive. Maybe you find that at this time my feet are a little cold. I'd like to put some socks on. All is good. We're gonna take a lot of time here in our legs up the wall posture. So many, many benefits of taking an inversion like this. We'll get ourselves set up. I'll explain the posture just a little bit, and then we'll enjoy some of the stillness and the silence and the peace that is one of the major benefits of restorative yoga practice. So with this inversion, we're allowing any stagnant fluid that's maybe accumulated in through the feet, the ankles, the legs, to slowly migrate back towards the lymph ducts down here underneath the hip. And we're giving kind of this opportunity to allow our veins and our arteries to practice a new sensation of being upside down. Just blood pressure is working in a slightly different way now because our heart is below our feet. So the heart gets a chance to start to calm, maybe pumping a little less actively or enthusiastic. Well, what's the right word? Anyways, so we're allowing kind of our body to receive this benefit of, reducing the fluid in through the legs. We're allowing our nutrient-rich blood to support the organs in the torso, in the brain, in the chest. And so giving ourselves kind of permission to wiggle and fidget here, just allowing some softness in through the knees. And this strap here is just helping keep the legs from needing to stay actively keeping the legs together. So because they're bound together, I don't have to worry about my hips staying active or engaged. I can allow them to completely relax. So again, one of those things about our restorative yoga practice is that we try to enter a pose with almost no observable sensation. There's no obvious stretch that we're feeling. There's no pulling. There's really, it's just very gentle. This allows the nervous system to calm, and it allows the muscles to relax, but also the fascia that's around the muscle tissue. So starting to settle in maybe just a little bit more. You might choose to close your eyes here. And we'll take some time with some breath work. So either with the eyes opened or closed, just if they're open, gaze softly at nothing in particular. Keep the eyes from darting around. And we'll start to just notice the breath. Feeling the breath move in and out through the nose. Noticing the depth of breath and the pace in which you are breathing. And we'll start to lengthen out the breath, allowing every inhale to be a little longer, a little slower, and every exhale to be a little bit more complete. Allowing the rate and the depth of the breath to slowly lengthen with time. Like that sensation almost before you start to fall asleep. The breath is long and slow. I'll lead us through a few rounds of Viloma 3-part exhale breath. It is a breathing practice that really helps the body to calm itself. We're getting a gentle massage of our nervous system with this breath practice. So how the breath moves is that we'll take an inhale fully through the nose. Pausing at the top, we'll then release on the exhale 1/3 of the breath, 2/3 of the breath, and then exhale completely. If you find that after a round of this that you'd prefer to just go back to your long, slow breathing, you're welcome to do so. And I'll only lead us through about 4 rounds of this breath together. So we'll start by exhaling out all of the air, exhaling out through the nose completely. Inhaling fully, fill the belly, fill the chest, pause at the top, exhale 1/3 of the breath, exhale 2/3 of the breath, exhale completely. Inhale fully through the nose, fill the belly, fill the chest, pause at the top, exhale 1/3, exhale 2/3, exhale completely. Inhale fully through the nose. Fill the belly. Fill the chest. Pause at the top. We'll exhale 1/3 of the breath. Exhale 2/3 of the breath. Exhale completely. Last round together, inhaling fully, fill the belly, fill the chest, pausing at the top. Exhale 1/3 of the breath. Exhale 2/3 of the breath. Exhale completely. Now you're welcome to take another 3 to 4 rounds of this Viloma 3-part exhale as we rest with the heels towards the sky. Allowing every exhale to allow you a little bit more softness, a little more release. We'll take one more minute here. Fantastic. We'll start to slowly draw the heels down the wall, pulling the knees in towards the chest. Giving ourselves a little hug here. Might bring the hands towards the shins or back behind the knees onto the thighs. And just adding maybe a gentle rock from side to side, massaging out the lower back. We'll take a moment to remove the strap from around the legs. Wonderful. Noticing maybe the state of your mind. Feeling again back into the breath. Or maybe feeling the sensation of blood flow returning back to the toes. And then we'll start to make our way into our second posture. We'll be taking bound angle pose at the wall. So with the hips still fairly close to the wall, we'll plant the feet at the wall and slowly help the knees open out towards the wall. Just allowing gravity here to help inform the shape. Your bound angle might look, more like this, more elevated, more open. Maybe the knees are pointing a little bit more towards the face. Or maybe with the help of gravity, the heels are lowering down just a little bit more, the knees opening just a little wider. So give yourselves a few moments again here to kind of wiggle in to find that space of comfort and ease. Not needing this to be our deepest wide angle or bound angle pose. The heels just gently soften towards the hips. You might find that scooching the hips back away from the wall is a nice adjustment for you. Just finding something that allows the hips, the legs, the feet to soften, to experience this posture without any gripping into the legs. Many different options are available for the placement of the hands. You might enjoy placing the hands on the belly, on the knees, out towards the sides, or extending up towards the head, maybe making a mirroring diamond shape with the arms, elbows out towards the sides. Just notice if you have that last posture, that there's no pinching in through the shoulders, that there's no kind of gripping in through the chest muscles, that you can gently spread the arms without kind of engaging any muscles in the chest. We'll close the eyes again. And notice the breath as it moves in and out through the nose. Nice, big, slow inhales and exhales. Or if you would like, you can take that Viloma 3-part exhale again, taking several rounds at the beginning of the posture in order to relax into it just a little bit deeper. So as we hold this posture for about 10 minutes, you might notice that sensation starts to creep in through maybe the toes, through the ankles, through the knees, through the hips, through the chest, through the arms. If it ever becomes intense or not feeling restful, you can make some adjustments to soften yourself. And as you experience maybe the subtle creeping in of sensation, you might note qualities of that sensation. Maybe it's a slow warmth that is building. Maybe it's a sense of heaviness through the hips and the pelvis. You might notice a sense of lightness through the chest or through the throat. Making any adjustments if you find this position becomes uncomfortable. But allowing the mind to reside in the present moment. So as we are experiencing the slow awareness of sensations building, we can stay present with that sensation. Instead of telling ourselves maybe a story of where that sensation came from or what we want to do for it or with it, we can just sit with it. And we can ask the sensation what it's trying to tell us, maybe what we should know. We have another 3 minutes here. Allow the muscles of the face to completely soften. Allow the tongue to pull away from the roof of the mouth. Allow the area around the eyes to feel heavy and soft. The muscles between the eyebrows relax. Feeling the breath move through the lungs. You might imagine that every inhale is filling your chest, your torso, maybe your whole body with a bright, sparkling light. Every exhale allows that light to spread around us, exiting through the nose. The inhale pulls that bright, healing light in through the body, in through the chest. This time, imagining it exhaling through the top of the head, through the crown of the head. Inhaling that bright, cleansing light in through the body. And exhaling from the crown of the head, allowing that bright light to envelop us. Our last minute here in this posture. We'll start to bring the hands to the knees, and we're going to slowly support the knees, coming back together over the chest, moving nice and slow here. Pulling the knees together, coming back into that little ball shape. You might choose to grab opposite hands or opposite wrists and give yourselves a gentle rock from side to side. Again, massaging out the lower back and the hips. Just noticing how that shape felt in the body. Noticing here in our rebound how we are feeling that shape. Kind of the echoes of that shape. And we'll begin to make our way over onto our side body. We'll take a minute here to rest in a fetal position. So you might bring the hands underneath the head, giving yourselves a little support through the neck. Just resting here on our side. We're giving the body a chance to allow the blood pressure to regulate. We just spent a lot of time with the legs up over the heart. So without putting any pressure on our beautiful heart, I'm just allowing that blood pressure to even out. Feeling a sense of comfort, of gratitude towards ourselves here. Wonderful work. We'll begin to support ourselves up gently. We're going to make our way over onto our belly. We'll roll ourselves over, nice and slow. And we'll spend a moment in a Sphinx pose. So getting a little back bend here. You still have that pad or that blanket underneath on your mat from supporting your hips, that's fine here. With our Sphinx pose, our elbows will come underneath our shoulders and our palms press out in front of us. We'll begin to push into the forearms to lift the chest up just a little bit more. We might start to tilt the nose up towards the sky, stretching out through the front of the neck. Taking a moment here. And then exhaling, slowly bringing the chin back down towards the chest. Stretching out through the back of the neck. Allowing the head to dangle here for a moment. Then we'll start to take some gentle movements of the head from side to side, bringing the right ear towards the right shoulder. Then the chin towards the chest, and then the left ear towards the left shoulder. Being nice and slow and soft with ourselves. Wonderful. Starting to find the head back at neutral. We'll lift that gaze to neutral. And staying on our tummies here, you might find that, let's see, so we'll be taking belly down tree pose next. I'm opting to keep this blanket here underneath my chest. I might even pat it a little bit above or below my breast just to keep from squishing or finding discomfort there, but totally up to you how you would like. So to get into our belly down tree pose, we'll open the elbows out nice and wide, and we'll bring the hands together underneath the face. We're going to create a little pillow for our head on the hands, unless you have another pillow nearby that you'd like to support your head with. We'll rest on our right cheek, and we'll take our belly down tree pose on the right side, starting to gently, rolling over towards the right hip. We're going to take the left knee out towards the left side of the mat. So we're bending that left knee. We're pulling the left knee up gently towards that left elbow. The knee is supported by the ground or the mat. You might find if you're working on a harder surface, you would like a little blanket or a little support underneath that left knee. So we gently have our head turned to face towards the left. And we're opening nice and deep in through that left hip. So if you found that you came into this pose a little intensely and you can already feel maybe some sensation or some discomfort maybe in that left hip, you can make some subtle adjustments, maybe opening that left foot out just a little bit, releasing some of the bend in that left knee. So a little more intense is a deep bend in that left knee. A little less intense is opening that left foot out just a little bit more. And we'll take 5 minutes here in this posture, just allowing the hips to sink down, to open with time. Noticing the breath, moving in and out. Begin to scan the body, moving from the head all the way down to the toes, searching for areas that might release just a little bit more. Noticing if the face can soften a little more. Noticing if the shoulders, the arms, the hands can release a little more. If the back side of the body can release, if the hips can release just a little more. Noticing if the glutes can release just a little more. The legs, the feet, the toes, all might be able to release just a little bit more. If the mind has wandered, invite the mind gently back to reside in the breath. Visualizing that inhale of white healing light entering the chest, entering the body. And then the exhaling through the top of the head, through the crown of the head, through the soles of the feet. Visualizing that healing white light going to the places where it's needed. We have one more minute here. Notice the mind. Notice the breath. Notice any sensations that have crept in over this time. We'll slowly begin to make our way out of this side. We'll start to move some of the weight back over to the right hip to lengthen the left leg out. Nice and long. We'll give the hips a little bit of movement from side to side and bring the forehead to rest on the hands. I'm going to switch myself around, but stay resting on your belly. Noticing how that feels to lengthen out. Wonderful work. We'll begin to make our way over to the other side. So bringing the left cheek to now rest on the hands, elbows out towards the side. We'll move the weight over towards the left hip, just a gentle rolling over towards the side to help bring that right knee out to the right side of the mat. Again, a little bit of blanket support or a little bit of softness underneath that right knee might feel helpful. Any sort of adjustments, any sort of wiggles in through the hips might feel nice. Starting to breathe here, nice and slow. Again, softening that which can be softened. Relax anything that can be relaxed. And use the breath as a tether for the mind. Keeping the mind focused on the present moment. Being kind and graceful with ourselves when we do notice we've wandered. We can just gently encourage our mind to come back to the practice of breathing deeply and mindfully. Maybe using that visual of the white healing light. Or any other visualization that aids in focused awareness. We'll begin to slowly make our way out of this posture, bringing that little bit of weight back over into the left hip to extend the right leg out nice and long down onto the floor. Lengthening the legs out. We'll bring the head again to neutral, resting the forehead maybe on the hands. We'll spend the remaining portion of class in our belly down Shavasana. So you might open the legs out a little wider here if that feels comfortable, finding a position that feels supportive. You might pigeon toe the toes towards each other. You might bring the hands down by the side and rest on the cheek. Or continue to use the hands as a pillow for the forehead. Feeling the calm that is a natural state of being for the body. Feeling that peace that can radiate around us. Feeling the stillness of both mind and body. We'll begin to bring a little bit of movement back into our fingers and our toes. Taking a fuller inhale and a larger exhale. Bring the hands back underneath the head. Making our way slowly, gently over onto our side body. We'll rest again in that fetal position. Taking a moment here to feel a sense of gratitude towards ourselves for prioritizing our health and our wellness today. As you are ready, we'll slowly, gently make our way back into a comfortable seated position. The eyes can stay closed or the gaze softly lowered. Feeling that calm and peace travel with you. We'll take an inhale together, lifting the arms up overhead. And exhale, draw the hands down through heart center. Thank you so much for your practice today. The light in me sees and honors the light in you all. Namaste.